I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
I've given you monsters to kill. I've told you how to award the XP. Now it's time when your players say, I loot the bodies. How do I award the treasure? Let's create one-click treasure rolling for all the tables in the DMG. I'm your DM, Carnivorous Meat. I'll be your host, your DM. Let's get to the video. Alright, welcome. I'm Carnivorous Meat, and for this video, I'm going to show you how to do one-click treasure. I know the screen looks like there's a lot. I'm going to walk all through it. It's a one-time setup. It will take a little bit of time to set it up, but once you have it, you only have to do it the once, and then it's one click from there. All of this that you see here, these are all the tables that you're going to have to create. Over here, you'll see rollable tables, treasure 10 gemstones, treasure 10 gemstones, 50 gemstones, 100 gemstones. You see each one of these, and you have to remember the names of all of them because it'll come into macros that we'll create here in a little bit. And all of them coincide to the tables, 10 gemstones. Here you'll see. So you'll see here the Azeroth is the first one here. Whoop. Is the first one here. Okay, second one, banded agate, blue quartz. You'll see here, banded agate, blue quartz. You'll literally create these tables, and I'll walk through that too. How to measure the tables up to what's actually inside the, come on, shrink away. Why are you frozen? My whole, there we go. Okay. So we'll go over that, but you will have to create all of these tables based on what's in the DMG. But to start, we're going to go over the treasure button. Let's see how it all starts and what it all looks like. So when I push this button, I'm going to get this table. And this basically tells me there's individual tables and there's Horde tables, and you'll see that in the DMG when we look at it. So each one of these pink buttons is programmed as such, and it whispers me when I hit the button. It triggers this macro, which I have up here under macros. Treasure, that's this macro. Go away. You'll see whisper GM, a template called treasure and rewards. Treasure and rewards, and then we have rewards individual here, and then we have all of our buttons, and I've talked in early videos how to do the buttons. Double bracket, double scrolly bracket, then a hard bracket with the name that you want on the button, close hard bracket immediately followed by parentheses of the name of a macro you want to run. Now here in my macro, you're going to see this here. You see the exclamation point hashtag, and that needs a correction, and that's what this box here is for. It should be exclamation point ampersand 13 semicolon hashtag, and then the name of the macro. Roll20 will strip that away. Do not try to just put exclamation point hashtag. It won't work. You have to put in this chain, and that sets up the button. These are all clickable buttons that will run different macros that we'll be looking at. To set these up, basically what you're going to do is you're going to look at these charts, and for every number that's here on the side, that's going to be the weight of the item. So here we see only one number can trigger, I can't highlight the one, but only one number can trigger Azeroth, so it has a weight of 1. Banded can only be a weight of 1. and it goes on down. And we'll see others that are weighted heavier as we get into some of the bigger tables. So each one of these here has a weight of 1, and this chart for 10 gold piece gemstones matches 1 for 1 to this chart here in the DMG. You see here on the treasure chart. So you'll do that for every table. 10 gemstone, 50 gemstones, like I said, you'll see here. 10 gemstones, 50 gemstones is the same. And in my tables, you'll see 10 gemstones, like I said, 50 gemstones. If I open it, it's going to match the same. We have bloodstone here, bloodstone, weight of 1. If I open that, that should be a weight of 1. There's only one number I can roll to get that result. That's what the weight on a table does. It tells you how many chances of the total roll can be that item. And so we're going to go through all the gemstones. Are pretty self-explanatory. Okay, you have all your gemstone ones. Art objects are very similar. You have very straightforward. Here's the 25 gold piece art objects. And you're gonna, put the items in there. Each one here showing it only has a weight of 1. Only one number can create that item. And that's going to happen all through your charts. Now, eventually you're going to start getting into charts that require dice rolls. And this does take a pro account to do this trick. And what needs to happen for that is an API called recursive tables. It's right here, recursive tables. And I'll put a link down where you can get this script. And you'll copy the script, do new script, paste it in there, name it, activate it, and then you'll have this script. What recursive tables does, it allows you to put in this syntax into a table to cause it to roll yet another table or another dice roll. And I'll go over that as I hit it. Like here you'll see individual treasure challenge 0 to 4. If I go over to my table here, treasure individual C to 4. Notice that was one of the tables I had to create. Basically, it's just change the different coins here in the book. We have the different coin varies for individuals 0 to 4. Your goblins, your kobolds, your whatever. Oh, I searched the body. What do I find? Boom. That's what I hit. An individual CR rating 0 to 4. This is what's in his pocket. Notice here there's a double bracket, just like you would roll like a dice roll. You're going to double bracket, and notice on here it's 5d6 for 1 to 30. So on here we have 5d6 copper, which was weighted. There are 30 numbers that can result in this being a thing. So we have a weight of 30 with it, and it's going to roll a coin. And here I will come over and I will roll that for you so you can see how that plays out. And it rolled 12 silver. So what it did, it came when I push this button, you'll see that the one titled individual CR 0 to 4 runs a Treas 0 to 4 macro. Up in my macros, Treas 0 to 4 rolls this exclamation mark RT is the recursive table. I'll go over that here in a second. And then it's going to whisper me. It's going to roll once on table treasure individual CR04. Excuse me. And so that's what it did. And it came to this table here. And it rolled randomly. And apparently, as you can see, it rolled silver pieces. So it ended up rolling at this level of the table. And then it rolled 46. And that's how it got to 12. And so the button rolled the macro rolled the table rolled 46, and that gave me my answer. So that's the recursive, and that's the power of it. And you're going to do that, and that's going to feed all of your tables. And they get more complex as they get harder. And I'm going to step into one of the tables to give an exact example of that and how that plays out. But first into the syntax of how it works. Like I said, I'm going to leave this one up so you can see. But basically, I'll put this one in the description too so you can see. But you do have to know the names of every one of your tables. So all of these tables, you need to know their names. And basically, like I say, you have your gemstone tables, which are here, page 134 of your DMG. And then you start your art objects. You have all your art object things, and you put them in here. And anytime there's a dice roll, you're going to put them in the double hard brackets as if you're going to roll that. Until you get down to here. Now, once you get down into these, you're going to get past a point of money. And you're going to see here, like for 17 plus individual, you start rolling 2 sets of dice. So once you get to that table, what it's going to roll, individual CR twice here, you'll see. Okay, you'll see here we have to roll like multiple things. So we literally are going to put in there multiple things. Here at the bottom, you have the 1d6 times 1,000 gold. Well, we have literally the double bracket, 1d6 times 1,000, double bracket, there's our dice roll, gold pieces, and then here we have 2d6 times 100 platinum. And so we also have the double bracket. We're going to roll again, 2d6 times 100, double bracket, there's our dice roll, platinum pieces. So if it chose this of the 3, it's going to roll our money and print out our money for us in the whisper, because we whispered ourselves the table. Once we get into the hordes, we start rolling on other tables, and this is where recursive is gonna bring itself, and that's where we're gonna start using this layout statement on how we're gonna do it, depending on what we want. Because you're gonna see here, you know, roll 1d6 times for magic item A. Here. For Horde challenge 0 to 4. Well, we have to set that up. So that when we hit the level of 2d6 times 10 gems, oh, I forgot something. On this table, notice everyone has coins. Outside of the dice roll, there's always coins. So all of these start with a coin level on the chart. It starts with the basic coins at the beginning of every one, and then you roll the dice. So I need to find here this one here. So we're rolling the basic money, 66 times 100 copper, silver, gold, and then 2d6, and it's this format. Notice we're going to hard bracket, double here, and we're going to close hard bracket. So this becomes one big roll. But in that roll, we're going to hard bracket double here, and we're going to say how many times, in this case, 1d6. Okay, right here, we're going to, so you're going to see 4 brackets in front, 1d6. We're going to close 2 of them, which is the 1d6 roll. Then the T for table. Then the name of the table, in this case, treasure magic item A, which was my magic item tables. That was the name of it. So 1d6 times, we're going to roll off magic item table A. And then magic item table A will roll up, and it'll roll this table randomly 1d6 times. And it's down below, I think. Yeah, magic items, here we have Potion of Healing. Check. You know, cantrip scroll of climbing. You see that it's exactly to the table here. Okay, notice here Potion of Healing is from 0 to 50. So on my table, it's weighted at 50 points. Okay, where the cantrip scroll here is from 51 to 60. So there are 10 numbers that can roll a cantrip scroll. So on my table, I weight that at 10. There are 10 possibilities of the total that it can be this option. And so you weight every one of these. Like drift globe here, there's only one number that can roll a drift globe. So if I come down here, you'll see that drift globe is weighted at a 1. Okay, and all of your items on your table should be set to the weight of the table. You know, down here you have, this one's 5. Count the 0, don't forget, when you're doing some of these. 30 to 34 is actually 5 because you have 30, then 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So the weight for that number right there would actually, ammunition 1 would actually be a weight of 5 to get that. So make sure you're counting your numbers right when you do the weighting on your tables. Okay. So I told you I'd walk you into it. So what we're going to see, what I want to walk you into, is going to the Horde table 11 to 16. The reason I picked that one is because it is very optional. There's a lot of stuff going on in this table. So here we go. In this table, there is default money, and then we have a lot of dice rolling on other tables. So this was going to be my example. And like I said, when I do my initial where did my macro bar go? Show my macro bar. There we go. So when I hit this treasure button, it's going to give me this pop-up. And then each of these here are going to give me one of these macros. And I have every one of these macros set up basically the same way. Okay, I have the treasure hoard, treasure H16, treasure H17 for my hoard 17, individual 0 to 4. So what happens is, like I said, this whisper doesn't seem to work. But you have your exclamation mark RT, which triggers your recursive tables. I want to whisper myself one roll on the treasure at whatever button I pushed. In this case, we're going to look at treasure for Horde CR 11 to 16. And when I push it once, I'm going to go ahead and hit the button. Then I'm going to walk through how it got to where it did. Notice here's everything. Here's everything that it popped up, that it rolled for me. So what happened was see if we can find where it is. It rolled 500 gold piece gems and some magic items. It looks off table B, which is this output right here. So what it did, it literally rolled this output. And so what we got 46 times 1,000 gold piece. Check. We got 5d6 times 100 platinum piece. Check. Because notice it's hard bracket rolling that and then telling me gold piece, which is what I got. It hard bracket rolled it, gave me a number, and then told me gold piece. And then I just put a comma. It's just text in here. Then I put in my pattern here. I got 4 brackets because I'm going to roll off a table now. 4 brackets. I got 4 brackets here. The number of how many times I want to do a table, 3d6, close 2 of them, a table, open 1 so I can name the table, and I want to roll my treasure 500 gemstone table. Then I'm going to close the name of the table. Notice here, then close the name of the table, and then 2 more brackets to close the entire table roll. And so that's 3d6 rolls on the 500 gold piece gem table. And that gave us all of those gems. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 13 gems at 500 gold pieces a piece. Okay, and that happened all just because of this one roll here. Okay, then we have, again, we're going to roll off another table. So we have our table roll syntax, 4 hard brackets, and then 1d4, close 2, table, open 1. The table name is magic item A. And it looks on that one, we got 2 potions of healing. And I'm not sure if Mariner's Armor is on table A or B. But I rolled 1d4 times off table A, and then I rolled 1d6 times off table B. Now, notice the 10 arrows, and I actually expected this. When it got to table B, it hit arrows, which was awesome, because when it got there, it gave me ammunition times 1, times, and notice here, I rolled again to tell you how many arrows I got. It was random. That wasn't just, oh, you get 10 arrows. So it actually came here, and then this said, go ahead and roll even again, just a number. And so I have my double hard brackets giving me a 1d20 roll. So when it gave me my 10 arrows, it showed that was a roll. So that was totally random how many arrows I got. And that's how it walks into the tables. So once you have all these set up, one time, like I said, you build all of these tables on the screen, and it sounds like a lot, but you have your gemstone tables, your art tables, all of your magic item tables, and just know their names. You don't have to name them this specifically, but know their names because you have to specify them in your macro. Okay. Here in your macro, this name is the name of the table. Well, the way I have mine set up, that is the name of the table right here. So if I go here, that's the macro. It is the name of the table, the exact name of the table. Okay? And so you need to know those names. And so just keep track of them. Same thing with your macros. You're going to create your macros to roll the table. And these macros you need to know the names of, so that when you make your master treasure button, when you make this button right here, you can tell it to roll the macro of this name, and it needs to know to roll the table of that name. Here. So they all feed each other. We have the master macro, which rolls a sub macro, which rolls a table, which rolls other tables and other numbers. And that's the recursive. There we go. Now notice here you'll see Treas, FOWP. This is not a table in the DMG, but it's a table you're going to need to create. What it is figurines of wondrous power. It's one of the few magic items where in the treasure table it says you get one, but there are a couple spots where it doesn't specify one of them. A couple tables do specify, oh, you only get the goat or whatever. But for tables where you doesn't specify, I can go ahead and roll once on here and say, oh, which figurine of wondrous power do I get? And I can have it roll and randomly assign whatever you won on that table. So that's a stray one, not from the book, that you may have to create just for that function. All the other ones should be capable of handling their own. Same way here, the magic armor. All the items on magical armor happen once. So that is how you do one-touch treasure. So there are only a couple things to remember is when you're creating your inner table macros. When you're rolling a separate table, you need to use this format. And if you need to, write it down somewhere, come back, watch this video, do whatever you got to do. So you need the double hard bracket for the whole thing, and then a double hard bracket and close bracket for how many times you roll the table, T for table, then a single bracket for the name of the table to be rolled. And you'll need to remember the names of all your tables. After that, it's pretty straightforward. On your control, not this one, this one, on your control macro, just remember, like I said, it's not exclamation point hashtag, it's actually exclamation point, ampersand 13, semicolon, then a hashtag, and then the name of another macro that needs to be run, and then the sub macro, which is a separate macro, because here's the treasure, here's the one that pops up here, and these are all the ones here that get called out. So you need a separate macro to call and roll to the tables. Once you have that set up one time, then every time you do it, you can come up here, say roll individual, boom, 19 copper. I can roll big. There's got some high-level spell scrolls. Looks like I got a board game. Ton of money. So that's what you get for a Horde. You know, CR 17 plus, I guess. You killed a big dragon. So you get to be rich. I hope that isn't overwhelming. I don't know how to describe it a better way. If you have to watch this a couple times, watch it a couple times to get the gist. Or if you even need to screenshot all these tables. But once it's set up, like I said, it does flow. It's one touch, and well, two touches technically. One, the click to pull up your hot buttons, but then after that, hey, I'm gonna loot these 3 goblins. Well, that's 3 individuals here at CR0. So boom, boom, boom. That's what you get. This is what you get for raiding 3 goblins, and you're done. and that's treasure in one click. So I know it's a little complicated. It's kind of deep. I hope it helps. Hope it works, and I hope it makes giving away treasure and answering the question of I loot the body, what do I find? A lot simpler and a lot easier, so that you can expedite your game in Roll20 and help your players gain treasure. Have a good night.